Aloha, my name is PJ, and this is your weekly sports update. Lord Stanley's Cup once again belongs in Chicago for the third time in 6 years as goaltender Corey Crawford shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-0 in Game 6, and Chicago celebrated a home ice championship for the first time since the 1938 season. Duncan Keith scored in the second period and directed a dominant defense that shut down Tampa Bay's high-scoring attack. Patrick Kane also had a goal and an assist, helping the Blackhawks clinch the cup on home ice. Corey Crawford had 25 saves in his fifth career playoff shutout. Keith was a unanimous selection for the Conn Smythe Trophy for playoff MVP after he finished with 21 points while playing more than 715 minutes in a grueling postseason. Keith is the second defenseman in history to win the Conn Smythe Trophy and score the game-winning goal in the cup-clinching game. Of course, the legendary Bobby Orr did it for the Boston Bruins in the 1970 and 1972 series. The Golden State Warriors moved one step closer to winning their first title in more than 40 years as they held off a tough Cleveland Cavalier team behind another brilliant performance from LeBron James, who posted his second triple-double of the series. Regular season most valuable player Stephen Curry has seemed to found his range the last couple of games, having the hot hand for Golden State Warriors at home in Game 5, pouring in 37 critical points and shaking off the pesky Matthew Dellavedova. Veteran guard and former All-Star Andre Iguodala has also seen his role increase in the series, bearing the responsibility of defending LeBron James, while at the same time making him play a prominent role on the defensive end for his team. Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, and veteran David Lee have also found themselves contributing more as the Warriors take the upper hand and now lead the series 3-2. Game 6 is now back in Cleveland, and LeBron James hopes to hold service at home and force a Game 7 back in the Bay Area. Small ball has become the theory of this series as big man Bogut and Mozgov have been relegated to the bench. The Golden State Warriors try to close out LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow night. Meanwhile, locally, the University of Hawaii baseball team has lost 3 pitchers to the 2015 Major League Baseball draft. All Big West first-team junior right-hander pitcher Tyler Brashears was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the 14th round. The Miami Marlins took sophomore right-hand pitcher L.J. Brewster in the 22nd round. And rounding out the trio was local boy and left-hand pitcher Quentin Torrance Costa, who was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 35th round. Brewster and Torres Costa have signed professional contracts as reported by Star Advertiser beat writer Billy Hall. Tyler Brashears was undecided at the time of this taping. We wish all the former Rainbow Warriors good luck with their professional careers. Once again, this is PJ with your weekly sports update. Mahalo, and stay tuned for Hawaii Sports Update. Now, my guest this week is, of course, Benji Taylor. Benji, first of all, I would like to personally say thank you for being back.
All right.
You know, you have remained professional throughout this whole ordeal, regardless of the local media, what the local media has tried to portray of you. You have remained a class act. And my first question is, do you have any rebuttal to the Star Advertiser, Dave Reardon's closing article about your departure, about kids cutting class, and all the other nonsense that was going on through what he reported?
Well, first off, I like Dave Reardon. You know, I think we've developed a pretty good professional relationship, and I didn't know him much at all before all of this happened. He didn't know me, and we've come to respect one another, and you know, he's a good writer. You know, he's a really good writer, and I'm a really good coach. So
Absolutely.
we're both two professionals, and
Yes, sir.
I don't really have any comment about that. I mean, there are a lot of layers to this. There's a lot of hands in the pot, and there were reasons why the guys were missing class, and we won't go into too much of that, but there were a lot of obstacles in our way this season. And it just wasn't Irvine and Mamadou and all of those guys and Alan Williams and Corey Hawkins. It was a lot of obstacles right there on the UH campus. And you know, we fought and we made it through, and we had the opportunity to win 22 games. And everyone's academically ineligible. I mean, if Negus Webster Chan didn't want to leave, he would have been able to play next year as well. So it is what it is, and at the end of the day, the guys are fine academically, and I wish them the best. I love those guys.
Absolutely. And now, with all that being said, what's up next on the plate for Benji Taylor?
Well, 47, I'm at a turning point in my life, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I never had a chance to really enjoy this island like I've been enjoying it lately. This is a great place. And,
Absolutely.
This has become home for me. I've been chasing everyone else's kids around for over 20 years. Everyone else's kids, and some parents and kids have been grateful, some haven't. But that was my job, to chase everyone else's kids around the country and get them up, make sure they went to class, and in my 25 years, I've never been a subject of any NCAA investigation myself, and I've always operated above board, and I think it's time for me to chase my own kids around for a while, and that's what I've been doing the last couple of months, and hopefully if things work out for me, and I can stay here and chase those guys around, and we're all very excited about that. And not saying I'm done with coaching, but I think it's time for me to chase my own kids around.
Well, from the looks of the West Coast Elite All-Star Basketball Camp last week with Otto and Austin, you better get in shape, man, because they're grooming themselves to be some true ball players, and they have a lot of energy, and they are very high IQ in basketball at such a young age.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and then my daughter, she's blossoming now, and then my oldest son, we don't talk about him a lot because he's not here, but he lives in Denver, and I need to get out there and spend time with him, and like I said, I've been chasing everybody else's kids around for 23 years, and time for me to chase mine, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a challenge, it's going to be a challenge, but man, I'm excited. Okay.
Now, just like you said about the NCAA investigation and stuff, you were pretty much the only coach unscathed, from the Skip Arnold program. Did you feel that you got a fair deal during this whole process?
Well, of course not. I mean, anyone that says that I did, I think Brian McGinnis said last week that he thought I got a fair deal, but I wasn't in the top 2 or 3 when it came time to name the coach. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, anybody with any kind of common sense understands I didn't get a fair deal. But that's life, and my kids, Otto, Austin, Olive, and Tyler always looked at me to see how I was going to handle this. They're not going to get a fair deal somewhere down the road. Just the way it is. My players are going to watch how I was going to handle this, and I'm not I've been blessed. I've been coaching for a long time. I've been a lot of places, and this was a great season for me. Learned a lot, personally and professionally, and we accomplished a lot. We'll always be etched in the record books. So I didn't get a raw deal, but I got a raw deal, but I'm still very, very happy about where I am with things, and I hope everyone can move. The university can move on, Gib can move on, I can move on, the players can move on, and everybody can just go and be successful in whatever they're going to do. But UH has been mired down in a lot of stuff for a lot of years now, and I'm getting out of it better than a lot of coaches that have come there.
Okay, well, definitely from the fanfare and from what the general public seems to think, that they felt that that you did a very formidable job, and the people of Hawaii thank you for that. Coming in under tough circumstances yourself last year, and pulling out 22 victories and almost winning the Big West title. Now, Gib Arnold seems to, blame a lot of these mishaps on the administration, or there's some kind of jockeying going in between the administration and Gib Arnold. What's your take on that?
No, that's a tough subject, and it's still ongoing. I can't really talk publicly about it, but I just think that everyone did stuff wrong. Coaches, administration. I think everyone did did some things wrong. I just think um, there's a group here that have wanted Gibb to be gone since he got here, and they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. Trying to malign me and this year's team is what they wanted to accomplish, and they did that. But I just pray that Gibb can recover from this, the university can recover from this, and we certainly recovered from it as a team this year because we were very successful. And you know, everything works out. You know, karma is something else, and it'll all come out in the end.
Absolutely. Now, the newly hired head coach, Aron Gannat, he was here underneath Riley Wallace and also Bob Nash. Did you feel that that's what got him the inside position for this job?
Without a doubt. I mean, yeah. That goes without saying. I mean, that's the only reason he got the job.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I think Ron will do a fine job. I just think he's just very, very fortunate to have the kind of network that he has, and to kind of have the few powerful people that he has in his corner pulling for him. They were pulling for him all year. You know, it didn't just happen in April. This thing has been going on since, you know, for a while now. You know, and this movement, you know, has been going on for a while. I mean, I know guys who applied for the job who I don't think they were as good as me, but they would have been close, and they weren't even considered for the job. So, you know, I just, of course, and I wish him the best. I have no hard feelings, but that's certainly why he has a job. You know, my college coach retired when I stopped playing.
Right.
So that was my network. That was my tree. You know.
Right.
You know. So if he was still in coaching, maybe he would hand me a job or place me in a situation. But that's not the case. And you know, when they were here before, any other form of business or college coaching, this would never happen. There's 351 schools. It would never happen at the other 350, where you have the type of success you had as an assistant at that particular school.
Right.
And then 5 years later, you come back as the head coach.
Absolutely.
That would never happen in any business or any other school in the world.
Okay. Well, we are here live with ex-interim head coach Benji Taylor. And if you want to tweet, go ahead and tweet us. As a matter of fact, we do have a tweet, and it's from Bonita Poetess. And she says, Mr. Taylor, hope to see you out on the court soon. Are you going to be coaching again in the near future?
Well, if anybody has been to my kids' games, they understand I coach during the game on the baseline. Yeah, also, shh, Dad, just shh. But, you know, my immediate future is just to really concentrate on my kids and staying here in Hawaii and trying to get with a good company, scratch out a living, and just stay here and just like chase my kids around for a while. I got a 10th grader and a 7th grader and a 2nd grader, and I've missed a lot, and I realize that now. You know, not doing anything for 2 months, but I don't know what's going to happen down the road. I got such a late start, Benita, with the whole process because I was staying loyal to the Hawaii situation, so I got such a late start. But I've been contacted about a lot of coaching jobs and have talked to a lot of people, but nothing that's going to make me leave here right now.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we're here with Benji Taylor. We're going to go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking some more hoops with ex-interim head coach Benji Taylor here on Hawaii Sports Update.
All right.
Okay, I'm Jay Fidel. That's Ray Starling. We co-host a show called Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, every Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. It's really interesting. You know, Ray has a way of unzipping these guys. He asks them these questions, and all this stuff tumbles out, and we find out stuff we would never know about without Ray's questions. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome, Jay. I'm very pleased to be your Ed McMahon every Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on the internet. So you can join us and see what's happening in the energy world, and there is a lot going on. So join us every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, come around. Be energized right here on ThinkTech. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Miley Scarpino, and I'm the host of the Empower Hour. If you're interested in health, nutrition, fitness, here on the island of Oahu, want to learn more about places to train at or different trainers available, then watch my show on Fridays at 3. We have a great time, and I hope that you'll come join us. Much aloha. Now go get swole.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island. I work in the ER there. But on Tuesday afternoons, I get to come and spend 45 minutes to an hour with Jay Fidel and the ThinkTech staff. They're terrific professionals. They help us to bring some of the leading cutting-edge topics here across our state to you. So you can join us at our show on healthcare in Hawaii to talk with leaders from across all the spectrum of health in our state, or you can join us for any other show where we talk about economic development or tourism or some really eclectic programs too. So really, we'd love to see you here on our show. Thanks for joining us and thanks for supporting us.
Welcome back to Hawaii Sports Update, and big mahalos for all of your tweets. Anyone who would like to tweet the show and ask Coach Benji Taylor a question, you can reach us at ThinkTech HI, and I'm sure Benji will be glad to accommodate that. We have another text up real quick. It says, it's from my right-hand man, Justin Baptiste. Great show, guys. Most memorable game for you coaching at UH, Benji?
Ooh. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Off the top of my head, most people would think it's Pitt or Colorado, but I would have to say it's the first round of the conference tournament because no one thought we would win. And I was on Hoops Talk with Jeff Portnoy and Jackson Willer the night before.
I remember that.
And they were interviewing somebody from my job on Wednesday night, and we were playing Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And when I hung up that phone, I was fired up, Long Beach didn't stand a chance. I had those guys ready to go. But I would say that game, because we've lost a lot in the first round, and a lot of our fans that were going there were friends of mine were like, hey, man, we like to stay more than one day this time. And just the support we had that one game, that first game, and throughout the entire tournament, then we won. And just walking around shaking hands like we do at home, it just felt like a home game. And I just went up to the suite and hung out with the Hui guys and watched more basketball. But that was probably a big relief for us as a team and as a program, because we had heard all the rumblings about we were going to lose and we weren't very good, and we always come home in the first round. But I think in the last 14 years, they've only won twice in the first round. And, Gib did it, and then I did it. So that's probably the most memorable game. And I thought after that game we could win the whole thing, and we came close to doing it. But 2 out of those 14 years, 2 out of those years, they didn't make it to the conference tournament.
Right.
Do you know what years those were? No comment.
About that.
Don't comment.
I do. Yes, I do. All right, well, Benji, you lead a team to 22 victories underneath those tough circumstances. And I don't mean to keep going back. I'm going to just squash it after this one. But, I mean, do you feel that the administration took any of that into consideration, what you were dealt with and the success that the team had?
No, they didn't. They didn't care about that. I mean, there were a couple of things that happened throughout the year, and I just knew middle management, administration at UH were, I have no hard feelings towards Dave Madeline. I mean, he came in, it was a tough situation. I'm sure he's listening to everyone else, and it felt like he made the best decision. But the thing about UH is that there's a big disconnect between UH and the community.
Absolutely.
So if you do a poll and 90% of the people say, I should be the coach, and then you go with the 10%, and you're basically saying that's not what's important. What's important is you're going to listen to the few quote-unquote powerful people that have the say in the ear of certain people. And at the end of the day, they made a decision, and I don't think they took anything in consideration. I think we could have won that. We could have beat Irvine and maybe made it to the Sweet 16. I still think that Aron Gannett would be sitting right where he's sitting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's unfortunate that they didn't consider that. You
But-
know, you were dealt a tough hand,
Yeah.
and you know, like I said, you remained classy and professional throughout the whole deal, and actually led this team to a very successful season. And
Yeah, but you know, PJ, I just made it hard for them. Losing Schamberger, Spearman, Stan Hardinger, and then losing Fotu.
right,
I mean, of course they were thinking like this is going to be easy to make this transition to Iran Ganat
right,
in the spring. It's going
Right.
to be easy to make that transition because they're going to be horrible, but they didn't have any idea that they didn't understand our pedigree. They didn't understand the toughness of me, the toughness of the team, the skill level of the team, and it just goes to show you that when you believe in what you're doing, a lot of great things can happen. We believed in each other. I believed in them. They believed in me. They played for me. I coached for them. I didn't coach to get the job long term. I didn't coach to make people happy. I just coached those guys as hard as I could, and they played as hard as they could. And when you can live like that for 5 months, you can do some great things. And I just made it hard for them, and I apologize for that, but in a way, but just made it hard for them, man. You know, they were going to do what they were going to do. They didn't have any idea that we'd be successful.
Okay, now with Negus Wester Chan going pro, you know, last week I believe I asked Brian McGinnis if that had if you leaving had any influence on him doing that, or he felt like that was just the right move for him to make. And then he said that Negus Wester Chan would have been tough to keep here regardless. Do you have any comment on that?
He may have been because, you know, I love Negus, I love Sharon, I love his mom. And Negus sacrificed a lot this year playing the 4 spot. He's a guard. And we had to play him at the 4. And, you know, Negus wanted some considerations going into next year, you know. And I probably wouldn't have been able to keep him because at the end of the day, I was going to do what's best for the team. And, you know, Negus has 64 threes. I said, well, can you make 100 next year? He's like, not playing the 4. You know, so, you know, I mean, so it would have been hard to keep him probably, but, you know, that, you never know. But, hey, look, I don't want any excuses. That team better win next year.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be pulling for them to win. I'm going to be supporting them. I'm going to be pulling for them. I love those guys. I think the state and the community, we want to see them be successful. But losing Negus is not going to be an excuse. He's not Fotu. And we lost Fotu a week before we started playing.
Right.
And we still found a way to be successful, and they can too.
Okay. Just off the bat, you think Roderick Bobbitt gets 100 steals next year?
No.
And
No, because he was really, really hungry for that. You know, it's a lot harder to break your own record. You know, he was really, really hungry for that. And I used to hear Jackson Wheeler and Portnoy, who's their basketball knowledge is very minute. You know, I used to hear them say stuff like, "Well, it's all Roderick Bobbitt," you know, but it was our scheme.
Absolutely.
It was our defensive scheme. I mean, I told the guys, if you can get your hands on some balls, you're gonna play. You know, if you can defend, you're gonna play. And he bought into it. He's naturally skilled in a lot of different ways, and he's got great defensive instinct. And Roger Bobbitt has a really good high basketball IQ on both ends of the floor. And you know, you forget about all of his assists and stuff that he did, but I don't think he'll have 100. But our scheme allowed him to get 100.
Absolutely.
You know, I allowed him to, you know, get in passing lanes and play the way he played. I forced his guy to handle the ball, you know, trap the second ball handler, make him throw it back to Rod's guy, and deny everybody. And Rod eat him up. And
Absolutely.
It worked. You know, listening to those guys, you make you think we just rolled the basketballs out and played, but it's a science to it, you know, and, you know, those guys play checkers, we play chess.
Okay. Now, you know, Isaac Fleming, a highly touted freshman, you know, at point in times last year, you know, he carried a lot of the load, especially in the Diamond Head Classic where he was all tournament, and then again towards the end of towards the end in the Big West and tournament also. You know, where do you feel that Isaac Fleming's going to fit in next year, and how special of a player is he?
I think he has a chance to be a really special player. You know, he just needs to mature. He needs to understand that the spring and the summer is when you really separate yourself. You know, Isaac, you know, as soon as you go 5-on-5, he's 100%, you know, ready to roll. You know, he needs to understand the importance of and we've talked about this, of his game development, you know, individual stuff, breakdown stuff, weights, conditioning, all that type of stuff that goes along. You know, you see LeBron, you see Steph Curry, you know, those guys, the Jordans, the Kobe's, all those guys that you see them play for 48 minutes in the pros, but when you see their commercials, you see their workout commercials. I mean, you know, I'm hoping kids will gravitate to that a little bit more and get more involved with, take more ownership of what happens in the gym, workout-wise. But if he has a good summer and a good spring, he's very talented. He has a chance to be a huge part of what they try to do, no matter how they play. The thing I like about him is he's a lot like Rod. He's a good defender. You know, they're going to miss Garrett Nevels, but he's a good defender, and he plays both ends, and he's an emotional kid. You know, that's double-edged sword. You know, you want an emotional kid, but you want him to be channeled in the right way, and I didn't have a problem with how Isaac played. He matured as the season went on.
Okay, and as far as Aaron Nevels and Stephen Jankovic, what are they going to have to improve on this offseason to get the full capability out of their games for next year?
Well, I think both those guys are still they're still growing into their games. I mean, I think Aaron Valdez is going to be, you know, he's going to be lights out again next year. He has such a good fall that I knew he was going to have a good year. I mean, he was our best player, you know, from September on, and you know, he had the wrist injury, ankle injuries, and you know, at the end of the year he had I kind of thought I saw his elbow. He had a staph infection, and you know, he had some tough things to fight through towards the end of the year. But man, he's, you know, sky's the limit for him. And then Jenks is going to be a good player. You know, he needs to just continue to work, continue to get confidence. You know, sometimes he loses his confidence too quick, and if his jumper's not falling, everything else is kind of secondary. But he needs to understand that he's just a good basketball player. He can, well, if he's not making threes, he still can go get 20, 25 points.
Right.
You know, you got to get to the line more. You know, he's got to get free throws. And, you know, get some easy baskets, run the floor, but you talk about a guy that came in December and hadn't really played any basketball since high school, significant minutes.
Right.
So he's going to be great next year.
Okay. Now, if this team doesn't win, just say 20 games, with basically the same team, the same players, I mean, what does that say? What does that say about the process? What does that say about the administration? What does that say about the student athlete being the main focus, the number one priority, you know, with the university?
Well, I think that I don't think you could put a number of wins on next year's team.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not so sure people put a number of wins on us, but it was very low.
Right.
I just think people liked the way we played.
Right.
You know, I think they could see that we played with our hearts, and we were all in it together. I think if they could play that way, I think, you know, we as a community would be happy with whatever happens, you know, whether it's 15 or 20. Because I coached this whole year to win 3 games in March, you know.
Right.
And no team really goes through a whole season without injuries, but those injuries in conference play really derailed us a little bit because it threw us off a little bit. You know, we had 3 starters miss 12 games in conference.
Right.
And we still, you know, finished better than people expected. You know, instead of winning 22 games, we could have easily won 24, 25 games. But I was trying to just work to build to win 3 games in March, and I think that's got to be Iran going in, because anything happens at the conference tournament. And if you're playing right and everybody's bought in, you can win 3 games in 3 days. And Irvine won this year. It's their first time ever going to the tournament. You know, they probably have had the best team in the league the last 2 or 3 years, 2 out of 3 years. And they just made it this year. So we knocked on the door last year. I really felt like we could win the conference next year. We were going to probably play a little smaller. We were going to be better. We had a spring to work and really put some things in. We had the summer. I was going to try to take a foreign tour. And I thought next year's team could win the regular season. And I'm not a Golden State fan. I'm going for the Cavaliers tonight. But, I mean, playing Draymond Green at the 5,
Right.
it proves it. You just got to put the right guys on the floor.
Absolutely.
And you know, and you got a chance.
All right. Well, we are here live with ex-interim head coach Benji Taylor, giving his opinion about multiple things, and of course, always with nothing but class.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to tweet Benji, ask him any kind of question, you could tweet us at ThinkTech HI. We're going to go on a commercial break, and when we come back on the other side of Hawaii Sports Update, a little bit more about Gib Arnold, then we're going to talk some NBA playoffs. How about that?
It's great.
All right. On the other
Let's go,
side.
Bron.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. That's Ted Ralston. You know, Ted is the host of Where the Road Leads. It shows every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. It's about technology. It's about how people collaborating and solve problems with modern technology. It's where the road leads. We all know that. We should all be listening. Join us there, 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday. Now, what about that do you agree with?
All of it.
I knew he'd say that. Aloha. Say aloha.
Aloha.
Good.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu.
This is Alice Lee Hagan, host of ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show here at ThinkTech Hawaii is every Thursday from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I bring in interesting guests from Hawaii, the mainland, and hopefully international guests in the future. Do join us on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. Aloha.
Aloha, we are back live on Hawaii Sports Update with ex-interim head coach Benji Taylor, talking story here. And, you know, in light of this whole situation, you know, about everything going on, if you know, all these allegations turn out to be true, you know, what does that mean for Gib Arnold's future as a coach?
You mean if they're all trying to be true?
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll find that out in Indianapolis.
Okay.
We're certainly not going to find that out by listening to, how should I put this tactfully? By listening to individuals here,
Absolutely.
On this island.
Okay.
You know, but I think they'll find that out in Indianapolis. And I've never, I had to go witness one when I took over Chicago State. I was a part of the rehabilitation process there.
Right.
Because the old coach had gotten into trouble. So I went to Arizona. We did ours in Arizona.
Okay.
And it's a very intense deal, and those people are very good at what they do, and they're very, very qualified to differentiate and figure it all out.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, it's too quick for anybody to make any judgments. I mean, we'll know when they leave Indianapolis, you know, where everything is. But I think he'll have the ability to coach again. Bruce
Okay.
Pearl's coaching.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
there are other guys that you know, that are coaching.
Okay.
That have gone through, you know, tough things.
Okay, because right now, especially with the local media, it seems like that we're at a standstill. It's the local media saying that Gib Arnold is trying to change the perception of the public, and everyone's trying to say that, oh, Gib Arnold just is totally guilty of all these violations. I mean, somewhere in between is the truth. You know.
You know, I mean, I took the road less traveled, man, but there's not a lot of people walking on that sucker, you know?
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta, it's hard, you know? Sometimes you just gotta let it all play out. I mean, I knew when there were certain things being said about me that I knew were ludicrous and wrong. I just kept my mouth shut and coached my team, you know,
Right.
because I didn't have time to get caught up in all of that. And you know, I don't know whether they think he's trying to change the perception or whatever, but you get tired of getting kicked around sometimes, you know, and you feel like you need to speak your mind. But like I said, it's middle of July, it'll all be out, and it'll be very, very interesting.
All right. Well, like I said, you've always remained professional. I don't know if people realize just even the situation that you were put into, and for you to rise above that and get 22 victories out of a team that their best players are playing, in the pro league in Spain, which is a very highly competitive league.
He's a pro.
Yeah, he's a pro.
He's going to be in the NBA.
Yeah, and
He's good.
And so, with that being said, just give the people a sense of what it was like to handle that, and then you remain professional throughout this whole ideal of dealing with the media saying, dealing with people getting people's lawyers on television for whatever reason I don't understand. But
right.
I mean, how do you feel personally about that?
Well, I just I was struggling when it first happened, the first 24, 48 hours, and I was talking to my mom, and my mom told me.
Nobody liked talking to your mom.
I told my mom, and my mom and dad was on the phone, so you got different opinions, Dad's like, mom's like, dad's like. So my mom she just said quite simply, she said, while you're going through all this, just need you to remember one thing. I want you to remember how you were raised.
That's right.
So I knew what she was saying.
Right.
So, that really, but my situation was public.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was hard about my situation. What I went through, people go through on this island every day.
Right.
They go through, getting screwed at work, or getting, reprimanded at work or fired at work when they shouldn't. I mean, people go through that all over the world, and my situation happened to be public.
Right.
But, I mean, people handle, I think that's why people like watching our team, because they knew, the struggles we'd gone through. And, looking back at it now, I can enjoy it now, but I really didn't enjoy it when it was going on, because so many times I had to just, put on a good game face and compartmentalize just to make sure the kids didn't know everything that was going on to them behind the scenes. Because there were a lot of people going at them behind the scenes, trying to fragment them, trying to take them down. And I had to make sure I kept them focused, and now I don't realize how I got through it, but at the time, just got to, lock in. But people go through things every day, and they bounce back, and, mine just happened to be public, but.
Well, of course we know how you got through it. Your mom told you that, man.
Yeah,
how
man.
you was raised, man.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to, just listen to everything. But there's one thing that's for sure, that you had those kids ready to play at a high level
Every night.
Every night.
Every night.
And nobody could ever take that away. And 22 victories and 2 victories in the Big West. No one can say enough about the job that you did last year, and the fans totally have your back also, and I just commend you once again on your professionalism, man. I mean, I'm sitting here looking, wondering how you did it, and it's the team definitely took the coach's personality, wore it on their sleeve, and put it out on the court. And I think that's a commitment to you and the job that you did last year.
And to the kids,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
We built a good group. So I was glad it's awesome success this year.
All right. Any message you want to say to the people of Hawaii? Any last thoughts about what's taking place before we get into the NBA playoffs?
Just thanks for everything. I think it's last time I was here, I said the same thing. Just, it was an unbelievable experience for me, and don't feel sorry for me. I'm gonna attack this next phase of my life like I attacked it in early November, and gonna be successful. I'm gonna be upbeat. My kids are gonna eat well, and just thank you for everything. I love this place. I just couldn't see myself leaving my kids right now. I couldn't see myself leaving my friends and leaving Hawaii right now. I'm excited to be staying here and to call Hawaii home.
Absolutely. I personally came here 20 years ago. I was an ex-athlete myself, and my brother went to college at HPC, graduated with his best friend, Will Carter, and they've been here for the last 35 years. And this is a great place to raise your children, and a great place to call home, regardless of everything else that's going on.
It's just strange how the Lord works, because if I was on a school in the mainland and I got a job that said, hey, I want you to come on over here and be an associate head coach or whatever and get this thing turned around, and it was like a plane ride away, I probably would take it. Because I can get back to see my kids on the weekend.
Right.
And I probably would leave. This is just, I was put in this situation to maybe even make this change, this change right now. I don't think I'm done coaching, but for right now, I mean, this is, I knew if I left, I just couldn't be involved like I need to be involved in their lives. So I'm definitely know I was meant to be here, and at this point in time, and my kids are happy, and I'm happy about the next phase.
Okay. Well, we are here live with ex-interim head coach Benji Taylor. We're going to go on another commercial break real quick, and when we come, no commercial. Oh, that's it? Okay, well,
Did we run over?
no, I guess we might have went over a little bit. NBA playoffs real quick, Benji. Who you got, man?
Bron. I'm going LeBron all the way. I don't like how the Golden State did Mark Jackson. So I'm going with the Cavaliers in 7. I said Cavaliers in 6. They gave the first overtime game away at Golden State, but I do have a lot of respect for Golden State, though. I mean, the way they go about things, and the NBA is full of a lot of good players on and off the floor right now. So I'm really loving NBA basketball. When I was a college coach, I was anti-NBA. I'm a college, I just watch college. NBA, it's just, but now I'm it's a lot of good guys in the league that are representing the league well on and off the floor.
Okay.
And so I could be happy with any team that wins. But I hope Cleveland wins.
Okay, absolutely.
East Coast, baby.
All right. Well, we are here with Benji Taylor, and Benji, it's always a pleasure for you to be here,
PJ.
man.
Yeah.
Always, and we at ThinkTech here wish you continued success or whatever you do. You're a very positive person, and I'm sure whatever happens, you will be very successful at it.
And if you need some real basketball analysis during the basketball season,
Yeah.
that Wednesday night show, that's for the birds.
Okay.
So if you want some real basketball analysis, let me know and we can get it figured out.
Me and you gonna have to hook up, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we can tell these people in town really what's going on with basketball.
All right. There you go.
No personal agendas. Just
No personal agenda.
strictly basketball.
You heard it. Hawaii Sports Update with PJ and Benji Taylor here.
All right, man.
Thanks for joining in. We'll check you out next week, and hui hou. Mahalo.